Super fun to eat, real pretty to look at. This is like a way to clean out your crisper drawer that is going to make it seem like you're running a health food restaurant in like the cool part of town. Hey guys, it's Carla. I am back again in my kitchen for another episode of That Sounds So Good, which is the name of this video series, and it is also the name of my book that I wrote with my own two hands. What I'm making today is chickpea pancakes with shaved vegetables, and this is the vegetarian but satisfying dinner that you make for yourself on like Tuesday when you went hard all weekend and it was great, but now it's the weeknight and you feel kind of terrible, but you're also hungry. That's when you make this. Once you have chickpea flour in the house, you can really whip these pancakes for dinner up at any time. They have chickpeas in them for heft. They have avocado, which has fat and is filling. And then you can use literally any crunchy veg that you find hanging out in the crisper drawer. They come together super fast. You can just like kick it on the couch, reset, rejuvenate, and get ready to go back into it. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do to start this recipe is to make the batter. Chickpea flour. Chickpea flour needs a minute to hydrate. During the 20 minutes that the batter is kind of sitting, you can do the slicing and the dicing and the making of the dressing. So this pancake is based on the Mediterranean pancake called Soca, which is made with 100% chickpea flour. Personally, I have a hard time flipping them without them tearing because they don't have any gluten. So there's like nothing holding it together, which is why I added a little bit of all-purpose just for structure. But you could go 100% chickpea flour, you could go 100% all-purpose. They will all make you a lovely pancake. Big pinch of salt, regular old water, couple glugs, tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. If you don't have extra virgin in the house, just use vegetable oil, but you need something in that batter for, you know, the fattiness, the lusciousness, the shininess. Normally in a regular Soca, that would be the batter. In this one, I'm adding some smashed chickpeas to the batter itself just to make it a little bit more substantial, and I'm gonna smash them. These don't all have to be like down to actual smush. I just don't want like a bite of an entire chickpea. One of the things about That Sounds So Good that I'm very happy about is that every recipe is written in chronological order, which means I'm giving you the steps of the recipe in the order that I think you should do them. If the batter sits for more than 20 minutes, it is totally fine. You just want a minimum of 20 minutes. Okay. Every recipe in my book has a spin it section, and in the spin it section, I'm always gonna give you alternates, and sometimes in your own life, you're gonna come up with alternates that are even alternate of the ones that I gave you. And that's the beauty of cooking, when you're in your own house and you get to make all of your own decisions about what you wanna do. Okay, I'm gonna use a mandolin to slice my vegetables, which makes dinner go really fast. If you don't have a mandolin, you can definitely just thinly slice your veg as thinly as you can. I'm gonna soften these and squeeze them with a little salt. So if they're even a little thick, it's not gonna matter. Beautiful and gorgeous. This cutie is a radish. The little red radishes, the black radishes, the daikon radish, all family of radish is welcome. Gorgeous purple radish. Give me a break with this radish. Conveniently comes with its own handle, which is also keeping my hands away from the blade. This is the most beautiful radish I ever saw. Cukes. These are mini cucumbers. Now everybody calls them mini cucumbers. Before they were known as Persian cucumbers. You could use lemon cucumbers or regular English hothouse cucumbers. I'm just not a big fan of whole cucumbers, like the ones you use for pickling. They tend to be seedy, waxy, and bitter. This is bok choy, which is also delicious when raw. I'm just gonna go from the bottom where it's extra crunchy. Celery, fennel would be great choices here. Raw cauliflower, delicious. I'm just gonna slice the leaves and add them. Before I dress this, I'm going to salt it with kosher salt, and then I'm gonna toss it And while I'm tossing it, I'm gonna squeeze everything. And at the beginning, everything's gonna be like super crunchy and brittle. So you wanna squeeze lightly so that you don't just break everything in half. And then as I continue to toss, the vegetables are gonna get really pliable and start to get juicy. And they're also getting seasoned by the salt, which is abrasive. And also the salt is like pulling moisture from the veg. And as the vegetables start to soften, you can squeeze them a little bit more energetically. The liquid that this is releasing is gonna become part of the dressing. This is a lot of raw, very crunchy vegetable, and you don't want the experience of eating it to be like a chore. Okay, now I'm gonna build the dressing in the bowl. And the first thing I'm gonna add is the acidic ingredient. I'm looking for about 2 tablespoons of lime juice. If you don't have a lime, you can use a lemon. If you don't have a lemon, you could use rice vinegar. If you don't have rice vinegar, you could use cider vinegar, white vinegar, sherry vinegar, literally any acidic ingredient that you have in your house. I think that's enough. I'm gonna give it a toss. The dressing is proportionally mostly toasted sesame oil, which if you didn't have, I would use another nut oil, walnut oil, or pistachio oil. If you don't have a nut oil or sesame oil, just replace that with extra virgin olive oil and load up on the sesame seeds later. Another thing you could do is take some tahini and thin it out with a little water, and you could use that. Salad's done. All right, the next thing is a couple avocados. And the avocado, I think, is really important. I think one thing that's missing when people want to eat a vegetarian meal is they will say that they're not satisfied. So I'm talking about omnivores who eat vegetarian meals every once in a while. Fat is like a super important ingredient in giving us that feeling of fullness. That is something that you get in spades with the avocado. You also need fat for like beautiful skin and beautiful hair, and fat is flavor, fat is filling. Fat is kind of key to feeling satisfied at the end of a meal. We love fat. We love a ripe avocado. Like when this happens, oh God, that's so satisfying. Oh my God. This literally never happens. This is like avocado pornography. Okay, we had a blemished one at the end, which thank God, because otherwise I'd think I was dead and gone to heaven. That experience just now cured me of every shitty avocado I've ever had. Okay, I'm gonna leave it pretty coarse and just gonna season this with some salt. There's plenty of acidity going on in the salad itself. Pancake time. I do recommend a nonstick skillet for this. This is an 8-inch skillet. I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of oil. When the oil's really hot, I'm gonna add a little bit less than 1/3 cup of batter. The first pancake, you either give to yourself because you're that person, or you give to whoever you just don't really care about their aesthetic pancake needs. And if you've ever made a crepe, this is gonna be familiar. You're kind of adding the batter and moving the pan around so it spreads out. They're extra tender because they're mostly chickpea flour, so just keep that in mind. I'm just making sure he's sliding freely. And this should just take about 2 to 3 minutes. I see bubbles cracking on the top. The color's great, it's just a little thick. Feel great about this pancake. It's crispy, golden brown on the underside. I'm just gonna transfer it. You will also notice that the second, third, and fourth pancake go faster than the first because the pan is so much hotter now. Doesn't it look like Australia? Is that what Australia looks like? This one looks nice. It's spread out a lot. It's got a really lovely ratio of chickpeas. The whole process probably took 8 minutes. Ooh, she's pretty. All right, I could keep going, but we have 4 pancakes and 3 of them look really good. Sorry, first pancake. You suffer so the rest of us can succeed. Pancakes for dinner is coming to completion. All of the elements are coming together. I have my beautiful salad and I have Some really nice perky little sprouts. You could use a handful of arugula here. You could use some baby kale. You could use like anything leafy and fluffy. You could put a handful of toasted walnuts in here if you wanted to. I'm just adding those guys real gentle, just to coat them with a little bit of dressing. And you get a pancake, you get a pancake, some avocado. What's nice about the avocado on the bottom layers, it kind of absorbs some of the dressing and keeps the pancake from sogging out. Delicious little landing pad. Great dinner for put an egg on it. So you've got your nonstick skillet out anyway, so you could just like do a sunny side up egg in there. A little sesame seed. It's like giving you a nice crunch, a little bit of flavor, and it's also friends with the sesame oil that's in the dressing. I'm very excited to eat it. You're getting all of the veggies. Super fun to eat. Real pretty to look at. It kind of has it all. Ten out of 10 would make again. I know you have crunchy vegetables that are gonna go bad if you don't do something with them. So go buy yourself 1 bag of chickpea flour, because that is the only ingredient that you don't have in the house, and make a delicious dinner that's gonna make you just feel super great about yourself, and then do an eye mask, and then like do a steam, and then like watch YouTube. For me, it would be a Juno Birch makeup video. For you, it might be how to clean a cast iron pan. I recommend a savory pancake and some self-care. I think that's a really great night.